got some tattoos, but they're usually from a chrome header pipe or something, that's a little hot.
Tom Meents, Maximum Destruction here in the Freak Nation. And again, we were talking about this before we went live. We'll get your name straight the full 15, 20 minutes here, Tom. Don't call me Meents. Is that a deal?
Deal.
How often does that happen? You've been doing this for almost 30 years, Tom. Do you just say, don't worry about my last name, just call me Max D? Is that how it works?
That's perfect. You got it.
Is that where it stops and starts with you? Because it took time for Max D to become relevant in Monster Jam. But once you satisfied those out there that have been following you for so many years, I mean, it became, I'd like to say at one time, the rival to Gravedigger.
Still is, fortunately, great opportunity to go up against such amazing talent from the Gravedigger team. Started with Dennis Anderson so many years ago. The rivalry we enjoyed. I don't know if we always enjoyed it, but we definitely had it. Had a lot of fun. It carries on through his family. He's got a great team of drivers, especially his family. He's got his daughter, Kristen. She's amazing. Ryan Anderson, one of the best. Adam Anderson, been around the longest of that group, super talented. And now young Weston Anderson starting this year. Anywhere you go, you got a huge rivalry with Gravedigger and the Anderson family, and it shows.
I want to go back a little bit on what Kenny just said there, or what he asked you there, in that it took a while for Maximum Destruction to Max D to get established. Looking back, I don't even remember that because I feel like you've been established from the get-go. That's crazy for me to hear.
Yeah, I've been driving for 30 years. I've been in Max D the last 19. I've had an amazing ride, so much fun. So many talented drivers to work with, so many great stadiums, traveled the world, getting ready to go to London in June, been all over. It's just a great job, a great time. And, everything I've got to do and the things I've got to experience with Monster Jam have been second to none.
What's changed maybe the littlest and what's changed the most in your tenure through Monster Jam?
Travel's the same, that's kind of the same, but the biggest change are the machines. They are so technology advanced now. They used to be junkyard parts. They used to be stuff you would get off another truck that would work. Now you fly around stadiums like you're in a fighter jet airplane. Every part is specifically built for a Monster Jam truck. The technology advancements. Drivers are now trained. I run Monster Jam University. I train all the young talent. The number one thing I want them to do is drive with their heart, drive with their passion, drive so they're entertaining. That's really the key. I love to pass my knowledge on to newer drivers and to make sure that the sport of Monster Jam goes on forever.
Clearly, passion is what drives Monster Jam, because whether it's kids or teenagers or adults, they love seeing the personalities out there and they love seeing the gnarliness you can do in these big trucks. But you've got to be physically able to take the beating inside the truck. How do you teach that in Monster Jam University?
You got to keep the core tight. That's number one. These things will put some abuse on your body. Cardio, you got to keep it up. Going through a 2-minute super hard run, all the things you have to do to make sure you're entertaining. And then learning how to drive technical, that's a big part of it now. It used to be more about just the destruction and crashing and the coolest thing. Now everybody wants to see you put together the perfect run that includes two-wheel skills, includes big air, includes a perfect backflip that lands perfectly on the tires and goes on to the next obstacle. They want to see the full 2 minutes. And then now and then they want to see a crazy save where you take that Monster Jam truck all the way to the edge, over the edge, you pull it back to its tires, and you continue on. That's one of the coolest things going right now.
Tom Meents, Maximum Destruction, Monster Jam. You got your World Finals in Orlando this weekend. Joining us here in the Freak Nation Lucas Oil Studios, Carey Hart was the first one on camera to do the backflip on a motorcycle. Travis Pastrana perfected it with a double backflip at the X Games. And guys are doing things with their bikes that people said would never be done. Go back to when you started in Max D specifically. that you said, you know what, this would never be done, whether it's a flip in a monster truck or some of the other things you're doing? What are a couple of things that you're doing now that you thought we would never do?
That's very true. I was a big fan of those guys, and seeing Mike Metzger go out there and just throw 2 backflips back to back, and just thinking, wow, 250-pound motorcycle, that could never happen on a Monster Jam truck. As I look out on the World Finals track, and now it's just part of your run. Everybody has to do one. You have to fill your time. You got to get in a backflip. You got to have great air. But never thought it'd be possible, but I'm like, we got to try. I got kind of lucky on one hit, and it sort of rolled backwards, and I thought maybe it's possible. And then one year we decided we're going to have to try to take it to the World Finals in 2009. We did. We showed the world it was possible, and now it's in every Monster Jam run. It's a great one, I can't wait to go out there and bust one now. It doesn't matter what pit party you go to. The fans come up. They talk to you. All those fans. Our greatest fans are kids. Some of those kids are 85 years old, and they want to see a backflip. That's what first thing they ask. Are you going to do a backflip? Only for you, buddy.
Are you not a good monster truck driver if you can't do a backflip?
I'd say you're not. Everybody pretty much can anymore. It's a matter of doing a great one and bringing it right back to the tires. And now we're doing backflips where if you get the right bounce, you can put it into a nose wheel, that's even cooler to make a combination out of a backflip. So many people, they get out of Monster Jam University's young drivers in their first year of driving. They're already at like a 5-year level now. Jeez. And that's really mattered. And it's really pushed this sport along. And, it's made the veterans like me think, oh, we got to come up with a new thing. These kids are hot, Well,
hold on. You're saying when they come out of Monster Jam University that they're basically like at a 5-year level. That's because of you. You're teaching them. So this is you giving them those skills, or giving them at least the ability to create those skills.
It is. I don't hide nothing. I give them every bit of knowledge I know. I know it's only going to make our events better, our sport better, and it makes the fans have more fun. They get to see new tricks, new styles. The things people are doing now with bicycles where they're driving around the stadium on only 2 wheels. That's really cool. And then people are turning that into a moonwalk by hitting the front brakes, and the truck rights itself back on the front tires, and they're able to moonwalk it back. And so many of these things I never thought was possible when I started in 93. And now I think the sky's the limit.
Tom Meents joining us here in the Freak Nation. And Tom, when you talk about learning the backflip, that can get pretty expensive. At least on bikes, you can go into a foam pit. How do you practice backflips without so much carnage and so much money?
Well, some of the stuff we've done at Monster Jam University is we use cars for our foam pit, So if you land upside down on a car, it's way easier than landing upside down on a dirt hit. It's like, similar to the foam pit, You try it. Then you take it out to an event, and hopefully you take it to dirt and perfect it.
That's bonkers.
Gosh. How many Monster Jam drivers are stunt drivers in movies? There's so many things you guys can do with a vehicle.
There's none really, but that would be like my ultimate goal would be have a Monster Jam movie with the crazy stuff we can do and the neat things, and go to different sites and do some amazing films. Some of the air these trucks will get and the things they can jump and the distances. So many things they can do and drive away. It's just amazing the technology that's went into building these super awesome machines that are, tough to take the test of time.
Lucas Oil, it works.
I run Lucas Oil.
It doesn't matter if you're on the water,
Driving to work,
or competing in a sold-out stadium.
Lucas Oil products will help you get the most out of your vehicle.
Monster Jam has run Lucas Oil in and on our trucks for over 10 years.
we wouldn't run anything else.
Lucas Oil, the official oil of Monster Jam.
So is the 30-year mark where Tom Meents decides to hang up Max D, or are we going to go for 40?
I'm not ready yet. Fortunately, I'm training the youth, but at the same time, I'm showing I practice what I preach. I won my tour this year. that's really exciting for me to still be able to compete. So many great years under my belt and still get to go out there and show the youngins how to get it done. It's been fun, being here at the World Finals and have 24 of the best, 23 other drivers to compete against in 4 different events. It's going to be challenging for sure, but I'm up for the task. We have an over-under racetrack here, new for Monster Jam. So it's an X-type course in the middle. The one lane will be flying over the top of the other lane. Pretty cool, pretty insane, huge landing ramp. It's going to be the coolest World Finals ever. We've had a 3-year hiatus to be back, to see these building full, to see these great fans again, to bring back the World Finals. We're ready.
All right, Tom, when we first met you face to face, you're looking at the picture there. That was 15, 16, shoot, maybe 17 years ago. World Finals in Las Vegas. How easy is it to get out of bed compared to back then with your back and your body?
These things are a rough ride, that's for sure. And you get a lot of Monday morning rheumatism, but the safety equipment is far, far better than it was back in 2005. I can assure you that. The head and neck restraints, the seat belts are tightened with ratchets. Everything about it is made a lot safer. You know what you're in for. You have better seats, better helmets. Every part of it is better to make us push this sport to even new levels.
And Tom, one of the things that we've enjoyed so much about drag racing, not just the racing itself, is the welcoming of females, minorities, and Monster Trucks has been that as long as I've known it. When we were there at 2005, you had Monster Mutt driven by a female. You had a couple other female drivers. You had Latin American. Monster Trucks has been, part of Middle America and East Coast, West Coast, from border to border. I mean, you've represented all facets of humans in your cars. It's something else, or trucks. You've got to be proud about that.
It is even cooler than that. I mean, think of one of your partners, Lucas Oil. They have a new truck this year. It looks like a Peterbilt semi, and Cynthia Gauthier, she's a great, great competitor, won several events I was at this year, beat me. I had the great opportunity to train her. She's a wonder in that truck. That truck is amazing, looks beautiful. You get a chance to check it out. She pulls the big air horn, got the stacks on it. That thing it's perfect for Monster Jam, and our fans are really getting behind her and that amazing truck.
Because you see that out in the stands. You see little boys and little girls and moms with dads in your audience. And granted, paychecks are cool, but gratification of seeing your audience like that is pretty badass.
Neat for me over my career. I get to meet the grandkid. I get to meet their dad. Then I got to meet Grandpa because they've all been to my event. Now they're bringing the grandkid. I mean, it's spanned a long time. That's perfect. It's very rewarding. So cool to see them want to share that experience with their son, grandson, granddaughter. That's great.
So who does take over Max D when you're done?
I don't know. My son did it for a while. He took some time off right now. He had a child. It's cool. He got married, had a kid, Colton. He's an awesome driver. He's just catching his wind again. Hopefully he'll be back in the seat and get the job done for us. He's amazing. He went through Monster Jam University as well. But, family comes first. And right now he's focusing on that family. We have a beautiful granddaughter.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Your favorite track, and let me back up just a second. We talked to Weston Anderson about this and how Supercross riders have their favorite tracks. I mean, come on, man. You have the same dirt in Orlando as you do in, Seattle. No, you don't. It's just different dirt across the world and different venues. What's Tom Meents' favorite venue to visit, whether it's the arena itself or the dirt per se?
you really can't go wrong in that Midwest dirt. You get up around Indianapolis, some from Illinois there nearby, got a lot of tack to it, hooky. It's easy to get that truck on 2 wheels and save it. Detroit area is another good one. The dirt here in Orlando is nice, form's good. I mean, favorite track right now would probably be this track. I mean, the excitement of the over-under cross in the middle, all the turns, very long track for us Monster Jam trucks, a lot of time to run. You see your opponent several times as you crisscross over the top of one another. This is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait to get out here. Once, we've had some practice runs. That's always one thing. But once people start competing, they forget about the rest, and they're just foot to the floor.
What about a tackier track makes it easier to maybe stick it on 2 wheels? What I guess where I was kind of open-eyed when you said that is that, whoa, how does momentum balance with whatever the traction in the dirt is?
It is, and you never know what it's going to be. We don't get no pre-lums, no pre-running. You line up, and you might have your fiercest competitor in the other lane. We get a little practice day or two before the event, but the conditions are never as good as they are on race night, and it is, there's no, extra pass. There's no, 5th lap, 6th lap. Monster Jam is quick. It's to the point, and, winner take all. It's tough, and it makes people battle their hardest on that very first run. Even if, when you're riding up here, and I've been in 21 of these world finals, and you got somebody like Weston Anderson, it's his first one. That the target on my back is huge for him, and he'll have an amazing night if he can just topple me right over and make the family proud. So it is. It makes it exciting. It's like a first round in NHRA.
Yeah.
You never know. You can go up and smoke, or you can run the quickest time of the weekend. It's a thin line.
Good point. And that actually brings us back to that age question, because you have Don Garlett still getting his license to run some NHRA dragsters and do an electric engine now. John Force is still out there. I don't think that 30 is going to be the year you hang it up. I think it's going to be, you're going to go 40 years, 50 years, 60 years in that truck.
Holy smokes.
I'm just saying.
Hey, for sure, those guys make me feel young. That's a fact.
Now, Tom, just as if you needed a reminder of how famous you are from Paxton, Illinois. I don't know if you can see that, my friend.
Oh, notable names.
On Wikipedia, you're one of the notable people out of Paxton, Illinois. You're up there with, looks like Pete Larson, former running back with Washington. And then, of course, there's Mush March from 1934, 1938 Stanley Cup champion, Chicago Blackhawks, my friend.
Yeah, Pete Larson, right uptown, they had the Larson Company. It was a little small department store in Paxton, and his picture was always up on the wall, football player. Right. Yep, I definitely heard of him, but a couple of those other ones I didn't know, that's for sure.
Hey, I'm Kyle Busch. The biggest racing weekend ever at Worldwide Technology Raceway is coming June 3rd through the 5th. The party starts Thursday with the NASCAR Fan Fest and Hauler Parade at Ballpark Village. Cup practice and truck qualifying on Friday, Cup qualifying and the Toyota 200 on Saturday, and it all wraps up on Sunday with the Enjoy Illinois 300. This is the first time in a lifetime to see the NASCAR Cup Series at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Go to worldwidetechnologyraceway.com to get your tickets now. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Illinois South Tourism.
Tom, are you an IndyCar fan?
I am a little bit. I went to Indianapolis. I've watched NASCAR over there. I'm not super big on the Indy cars, but yeah, drag racing is something I really like to follow. Supercross. Off-road racing, short course, long stuff, all of it. I like it all, honestly, I do.
But the bottom line, though, you're showing, hey, guys, this is motorsports, is motorsports, is motorsports. We all keep tabs on each other, whether from afar or close up. It's all one family.
It is. And that's what makes this show awesome.
Tom, I don't know if you're painted up like Todd LeDuc, but you guys need to get like a bet going up with all that ink that he's got on his body. Maybe...
Kind of a no ink guy,
Yes.
Well,
I got some tattoos, but they're usually from a chrome header pipe or something,
Well, just make a bet with him to where when you whoop his butt in some race, that he's got to put the Tom Meents on his back.
Yes.
I should have made that bet this year. He was on my tour, and he's a super tough competitor. And I won the tour, and he got third. So I was like,
Yes.
Oh man.
Beat the young boys. That's all it's
Okay, so
about.
next year if that happens, you make him get a big Max D on his shin or his thigh.
there you go.
Well, the thing about it is he won't care. He go, cool,
Yeah,
man. Max
true.
Tom Meents is my man.
He's a great competitor, and
Right.
I can definitely respect him and his family and the things they've accomplished and the things Todd has accomplished in this sport. You know, it's great to see him over here and staying here, and you know, this is his focus. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, buddy, thank you very much for doing this, Tom. We look forward to seeing you maybe later this year or early in 2023, buddy.
Great, man, and I can't wait to meet all the great people coming to World Finals this weekend. Going to be a great weekend. Man, what an exciting track. It's going to be exciting times.
Boom. Tom, thanks, buddy.